second graders. Today we are going to be talking about even and odd numbers in math. So what are even and odd numbers? So I think the best way to think of even and odd numbers is that even numbers can be broken up evenly into two groups, and odd numbers, there's always one left over. So I call that the odd man out. So if I have the number 5, I'll draw the number 5. So if I have the number 5 and I have 5 grapes and I want to break them up evenly, can I do that? Well, let's see. I have a grape. Well, let me delete that. I have a grape for me and a grape for my friend. So there's 2. A grape for me and a grape for my friend. So there's 3, 4. And then, I have 1 more grape left. So are my 2 groups even? So I have 3 in one group and 2 in the other. So that would be no. The number is odd. So think of odd as there's an odd man out. So the odd man out is this one guy that's left over to make the groups unequal. So Emma picked 7 carrots and 6 tomatoes. Does she pick an odd or even number of each food? To find out if the number is or each type of food is odd or even, you can count by 2s or make pairs. If there is 1 left over, the number is odd. If there is nothing left over, the number is even. So let's look at her carrots. So she has 7 carrots, and so she has 2, 2, 2, and then 1 left over. So that would be odd. And then tomatoes, there's 6, 2, 2, and 2. Okay, so that would be even. There's none left over. So whenever you have a number, you want to decide even or odd. So either, like they said, put them into groups of 2 or count by 2. So let's see, count by 2s. Is 8 even or odd? So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So is there any left over? So there's a group of 2, a group of 2, a group of 2, and a group of 2. So what do we think? Well, let's write down our numbers. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, and we have no bugs left over, so that would be even. Make pairs is 11 even or odd, so let's make pairs. We have a pair, we have another pair, we have 3 pairs, 4 pairs, 5 pairs, and then an odd man out. So this odd man out would make the number odd. So whenever you think of even and odd numbers, I like to think of how many pairs of my shoes. I hope that you always have an even number of shoes, because if you have an odd shoe, then you are missing another shoe because you have 2 feet. So let's go on to the next page. And we will edit this guy. So make pairs or count by 2s, write even or odd. So make pairs, so you could either make pairs like here's a pair, like you have a pair of shoes, there's 2 in a pair. Here's a pair, here's a pair, here's a pair, here's a pair, and here's a pair. So is that even or odd? It's even, because there's even groups of 2. So that would be even. Oop, my V got a little messed up. Let me move this guy here and I'll erase him. Even. And then we have the number 9. Let's see. Here's a pair. Here's a pair. Here's a pair. Here's a pair. Oh, and then we got our odd man out. So 9 is odd. And if you forget if odd or even, which one is which, like, oh shoot, I can't remember. Is even the word that means that there are equal groups of 2, or is it odd? Well, think even has 4 letters, so there's even groups, right? There's 2 letters and 2 letters. So even has an even number of letters, but odd has an odd man out. So there's an extra one, right? ODD, you have an extra letter. So think even and odd. Number 5, we have 13. So instead of circling, let's count by 2s. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then I should have 14, but I only have 1 guy and he's left over. So 13 would be odd. ODD. And then I have number 6, and we have 10. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have equal pairs, so we have even. Man, my handwriting is not great today. Those E's are looking a little funky town, but that's okay. Problem solving. Oh, wow, this is a fast assignment. Joel says that 14 is an odd number because when he puts 14 objects in pairs, there are 2 left over. Is Joel correct? Explain. Well, let's think about this. If there are 2 left over, would that be odd? No, there's only 1 left over if something is odd. So is Joel correct? No, he's not correct. We'll move our little text box. Is he correct? Oh, come on, guy. There we go. Is Joel correct? No. Because odd numbers have 1 left over. If there are 2, it is even. Let's write about it. Abigail picks an odd number of red plums and an odd number of purple plums. Is the total number of plums even or odd? Ooh, this is a really good question. So Abigail picks an odd number of red plums and an odd number of purple plums. So let's create a chart. So if I have R for red and P for purple, so it says she has an odd number of both. So she has an odd number. She has an odd number of purple and an odd number of red. So let's say an odd number is 3. Another odd number is 5 for purple. Odd number of red, odd number of purple. So does she have a total that's even or odd? So let's add 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 equals 8. Now let's think, is 8 even or odd? Well, we could draw circles down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there are equal pairs. So the odd and the even number, or the 2 odd numbers added together equals an even number. So let's take our red text, and the number is even. Now, let's think about this. Whenever you have an odd number plus an odd number, the answer is always going to be an even number, because if you think about having 3 has 1, 2, and there's a leftover one, right? When you have the number 3, a leftover circle. And if I have 5, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have a leftover one. So if you put these 2 numbers together, those 2 leftover guys are going to be buddies. The odd man's out are going to become buddies. And then we are going to have now, and oops, goodness gracious. Now we're going to have an even number. So whenever you add 2 odd numbers together, you get an even number. So my challenge for you is to think about, if you add 2 even numbers, is it always even? And then my third question is if you add an even number and an odd number together, does that equal an even or an odd number? So something to think about. This was a pretty quick assignment, so I think you have a little extra time to think about that question. So I hope that even and odd numbers make sense to you. Remember that odd numbers, there's always an odd man out, so an extra guy. Okay? So I hope you have a good rest of your day.